really, really bad. Like you're pausing like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. If you want to go, you can go. Yeah, but it's just I'm gonna do one last thing and then I'm gonna end the live so I can go take a shower in case my deodorant fails. Welcome to Comfort Havoc number 2. So these are commas tonight. For the first 5 minutes of this video, they're gonna be tonfas. Tonfas are basically commas without blades, or what you would call your police baton from the 70s, 80s era. When you're using a tonfa, it is to block your forearm, but you would have a little bit more space up here. And so when you block and you strike, I personally prefer outside to inside. Some people prefer inside to outside. Great reference for you to watch, Surf Ninjas, where rapper Tone Loc uses a baton as a tonfa, or a tonfa as a baton. Same concept. Initially in the 70s and 80s, it was put into police training so the police could have a weapon to combat against violent criminals without using the firearm. Don't ask. I'm really slow on the history on that shit. But for all martial art purposes, it was one of the most dangerous weapons because it didn't have a blade and it didn't look menacing. And you could walk around with it and no one would really understand what the hell it was. Nowadays, you probably can put a switchblade in one of them damn things and punch and eject the blade. But when you strike and you go over, or you go under, those are your primaries. Now when you block, you can block and then you can throw out, or you can throw out. It just depends on who you're fighting and the distance between you and your fighter. These are short-range weapons when they are using as tonfas. But since these are actually commas, they're also short-range versions, and you will never grab your commas by the blades. These are training commas, so I'm perfectly safe. However, with the real shit, my hands would be impaled and I wouldn't have any thumbs. Because that shit would cut clean through that shit.
Gotcha.
Especially since I'm squeezing them. Yep. And that's not something that you should do to any blade whatsoever. And then when cleaning your blades, you clean them away from the body, not towards the body, in case you sneeze or fart and stab yourself. So you don't want to do that. But for all purposes of this 5 more minutes of this, these are going to be tonfas. So your block and your strike, or your block and your strike, or your jab and your strike. So basically it's a 2-for-1 sale. So you can throw a punch out and then spin it around and connect them as they're falling, which I highly recommend because the person you're fighting is probably not going to give you the chance to do it again. So it works with uppercuts, boom, boom. It works with haymakers, so boom, and then boom. Or you can just swing it out there and not even engage with your own hand. But they are short-range weapons, so your opponent has to get in. If they have a bow staff, it's good blocks, but you want to push them out so that you can strike this way. You don't want to try to get in, because if you go this way, you might hit yourself in the chin. But if you can go this way, you can hit them in the testicles. I probably should not be teaching stuff like this, but it's free, so you can't complain. Now, the downside is
we like free lessons.
They're generally made out of wood. They do have steel tonfas now, but you're training. You're not trying to hurt people. But in the event that you have to use steel tonfa, same principle apply. But most of the steel tonfas are lighter than the wood tonfas. Don't ask me why. I do not know. But you know, it's the same concept as boxing. So you can throw your jabs out. You can throw your hooks. You can throw your uppercuts. The only problem with a tonfa is if you don't have a grip on this thing and you throw an uppercut and it comes back the wrong way, this thing will flap and hit you in the chin. Somebody's going to sleep. If you have a glass jaw, you can hang it up. You know, getting hit by these some bitches hurt. Just so that you know, if you throw a punch and you miss, you're in trouble. Or if you throw a punch and you miss and they kick the base of your tonfa and your grip's not tight, it'll kick it and it'll come in and you can break your own rib, which is another reason why I specifically say whenever you get into a fight, don't bring any weapons. Bring what God gave you and a whole lot of prayer, which is my best advice.
Yeah.
Because when you bring weapons to a fight and you're fighting somebody who's a little bit better than you, you're going to have a problem. I'm not saying you can't win. I'm just saying it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do such a thing. So, other things with tonfas, which I should have done in the first place, was touching your basic blocks. You know, because you have your cross block. That's kind of a dangerous block because your tonfas have big round circles at the tip. And if somebody kicks down your tonfas while you're blocking, you can hit yourself in the throat. So that's probably going to hurt like fuck if it doesn't kill you. And then, with the commas, you definitely don't want to do that. But with the tonfas, it's a little bit safer. But you have your basic blocks. You know, you can block like this if you're doing Thai fighting. I don't recommend that shit. I recommend you take your standard guard and block. If you're left-handed, you go southpaw, which also can make it easier to transition into Wing Chun. But if you're right-handed, you go regular, and then you block here, you block there, you block low, you block low. Now, if you know Thai fighting, then you ought to know you can block here, and you can block here. You can block here. Sorry, Carmelo, did my shit fucked up? You can block this way, block this way. This way is okay. I don't really recommend it. I recommend a double block this way, or a double block this way, depending on what hand is available at that time. I recommend a smackdown, because you can smack down and you can take another damn thing down. That would be for someone who's throwing a front kick, so you can block it. Or if someone's throwing a front kick high, you can block it this way, or you can block it this way, and then you can go this way. If they're this way, you slam it, you want to slam it on their knee. I know this is bad, I'm sorry, but you want to slam it on their fucking knee, so it pushes it down. As you push their knee down, you want to take the tonfa and spin it out, so that you hit them in the gut, in the rib area, because you're pushing the knee down and you're throwing out. And that also sets you up for the counter, so you've blocked and struck, boom, and you struck again. That's pretty much going to be it. 9 times out of 10, if you're getting hit with a weapon, it's not going to be a really long fight. Most fights anyway, in general, if they don't go to the ground, most fights generally last 2 to 5 minutes. Tops. Real fights. Sport fights are paid to last. They want their athletes to go at least 2 rounds. If your athlete can go 2 rounds, he can go 2 more. So, as long as they're in good condition, they can keep going. And this is the thing, the real world, we are not taught. Because if you get into a bar fight, you get hit in the head with a bottle, unless you can turn into Colossus, you're probably going to sleep. You might even fucking die if they hit you right. So don't get into bar fights. But if you're outside, there are no weapons involved, you need to be able to handle yourself. But if you happen to find something remotely resembling a tonfa, you'll know how to use it. Boom. That way. Boom. That way. Now that block, so that you can see it, it's coming out. The other one is going in. So when you take that block here and that strike, your strike is but not going this way, but it's going that way. I prefer outside to inside. Some people will tell you inside to outside. The thing about inside to outside is that your ribs are prime target for you to fuck yourself up. So anybody who doesn't agree with this, when this happens to you, you'll see why the fuck I say outside to inside. It's the same thing with certain crescent kicks, alright? You have your inside to outside crescent kick. Boom. If you have your tonfas, it's kind of a dangerous move because you might, like when you go for the kick, you might forget your tonfas in your hand and your leg might hit your tonfa. Because most of the time when they teach you to kick, they teach you your block. You know, you see how I was right there? So, you know, you kick your knee, you done damage yourself, so your opponent doesn't have too much to worry about. So if you're going to fight with your tonfas, you want to keep that shit basic. You know, jab, kick, block, kick, jab, block, kick, block. You know, you want to keep it that way. Now, for the rest of the video, we're going to use these commas as what they are. Commas. Now, I taught you guys about the blocks before with commas. Same thing, basically, any block in a martial art. It's got a different name for every martial art, but it's pretty much the same fucking thing. High left, medium left, low left with knee, high right, medium right, low right with knee. It's pretty much the same shit. Now, in real life, with real commas, you won't do this. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do all of this fancy shit. That shit right there would have cut off your hand. So you're doing this only in training. You do that shit in real life, that's going to happen, and you're probably going to impale yourself, which is not going to be cool at any rate of capacity. So when I'm making videos and I'm training, and you see me do this shit, that's fine and dandy. Block, those are great. This shit, just to get them out, is exercise pretty much. In a fight, you're going to block and you're going to strike and strike. You're not going to do this. Alright, just to clarify, when I'm training, this is okay, because it's getting my wrist loose. In a real fight, I'm going to block and I'm going to gouge your shit. I'm going to block and I'm going to gouge your shit. And if I strike and get my shit stuck in you, I'm going to push off. I'm not going to do any fancy shit, because fancy shit does not win fights. I understand that no matter what martial artist you go to after me and watch that shit, fancy shit does not win fights. Not in the real world. So it looks cool in the movies. So if you see me you've come a long way to die. Boom! Spinning back kick. That's a good kick for a real situation. But it's also the kick that's going to get your ass kicked because you turned your back. Now, granted, I did say I stabbed him. However, he could be on an adrenaline rush and it might not fucking hurt him. He could be jacked up on PCP where he doesn't feel pain. I'm going to have to stab him and keep going. So if I stab him, front kick is suggested. If I stab him, gouge, stab again, kick to get him off my weapon. But this shit here, got me. You're not doing that shit in a fight. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to say you can't. I'm going to say that you shouldn't. When I'm training, you see me do this shit all the time. You see how I grabbed it? In real life, I would have just got my arm cut off. Both of them. Because that's how sharp the commas are. So you want to keep that shit simple. Boom, 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 slap. Remember, at the end of the day, these things are like little Russian sickles. If you haven't seen a Russian sickle, please go Google it. Better yet, just go Google a Kama. K-A-M-A. Not the Dragon Ball Z character, King Kama. Or King Kai, whatever the fuck his name is. Kama is actually a very sharp instrument of destruction. It is a short-range weapon that is made to hurt, maim, and gouge people. I think they used to use it to cut fish. I'm not going to swear that because they probably use it to dig gardens as well. It's a sharp instrument. Now, when you're playing around with these things, the wooden ones are safe. You're not going to hurt yourself really, really bad unless you drop it on a toe. So this is fine. It's a training instrument. That I just did is not fine. It's okay for training, but not for real commas. Because these bitches are sharp as fuck. And they will fucking impale your shit. And if you get into a fight, no one's going to give you the chance to whirl that thing like that. And as you see how it landed. So, let's see if I can do it without cutting myself. Now see, that makes great movie stuff. Gets you killed in real life. So, now you're going to go to another block. You have your X block. Usually you're going to block with the commas. You want your blades this way. So that you can catch the sword in here. You're not going to break the sword. Unless they got some really cheap ass metal. So, if you catch it here, you want to get them to this side, pull, and knee. Or if you're left knee, catch, pull, knee. From there, release, gouge in the back. Or if you choose to still have it, elbow in the back, and knee them again. So you have to understand something. It's weapon against weapon. The person that's better with the weapon is more likely going to win the fucking fight, and you're probably not going to come home. Alright? Not going to sugarcoat that shit. So if you happen to have to fight somebody with real fucking commas, you better get your shit straight. This, not an option. Boom, gouge, yeah, I'm training. I'm making a movie so I can do this because no, that's not going to happen. You know, we're going to redo the scene over and over and over until I get this shit right. And in real life, you only get one shot. Block, strike. Block, strike. Block, block, block. Strike, strike. Block, strike, strike. Block, strike, strike. None of this shit. Boom, boom. Now, if you get in a situation where you literally can do that, please send me the video so that I don't fuck myself up and then you have proven me wrong. If you still have all of your fingers and toes, you have been blessed by God. So now, for more comma stuff, there are certain kicks that you will not do with commas. My mattress fell. This is one. Because in that situation, you see where these things were pointed. You see where my leg is going. It's a good chance that I may gouge my leg. And my opponent may sidestep. And when I come down, he's not right here, he's over here. I'm dead. Keep that shit basic. You know, block, kick, strike. You know, for movies, block, kick, strike, come back. See how I caught it? Boom. And I did that dumb shit. So, boom, here, slice. Movie shit only. Real life, block, strike, kick them off your blade. Clean the blade, carry on. This shit here, not gonna happen. Now, if this is the only way you've been taught how to use commas, your teacher may have fucked up, but you can still do it this way. You know, you just have a little bit more of a dangerous curve because your hands are low and your blade is lower. So if you block you got to go this way and then strike. It's a good chance that you're going to die. Block, push, and then strike. Those are highly possible. As a martial artist, I'm going to tell you, fuck that shit. As a man and you want to make a movie, it's going to look cool. Boom. Did you guys see that? Let's see if I can do it again without dropping them. Boom. Boom. Yeah, you see that? Let's see if I can try it again. Maybe higher. Yeah, and I dropped it. See what I mean? We'll do it again. One more time before I end the video. Alright. I hope you guys saw that. So here. I'm going to go slow now. Gash. Whip it around. Slice. I don't think the phone's getting it. So here. Damn it. Here. There. This one cut me. Not really, but it would have. So here. I think that one was perfect. And then thrust up. So for movies, that would have looked cool. In real life, it would have been more like this. Boom. Boom. That would have got me killed. So it would have been more like block, strike, strike, strike. Now notice that I didn't do it this time this way. Because you want to go here, boom, boom, and then cut up. Now 9 times out of 10, once you did that first 2 gashes, you're going to gut somebody so bad that the fight's not going to need to continue. Now if they're wearing armor, you got a little bit of a problem. Alright? And that's the thing about lightweight weapons. Lightweight weapons, in my personal opinion, work great in close combat. And if you're wearing armor, if you're fighting a Japanese guy and he has a tanto, his tanto is close enough to his armor that he can whip it out and crack your armor. Because it's a small blade, and it's not going to take that much force to crack the armor. Now, to crack the armor plus the human body, he's going to take a little bit of work. But the person who's fighting him is not just going to lay there and let that shit happen. Yeah, there's going to be boom, boom. We're going to block that shit. So, here, there, boom. You're not doing any of that shit. You're going to fight just like this. Block, strike, strike. Block, strike, strike. Boom. You're going to do something simple, something basic. You're not going to sit here and try to do doubles and all this other shit. You're not going to get the time. Now, if you're practicing outside with your wooden kamas, these are solid wood. My chobos were made from these, not these ones exactly. I had 3 sets. I only have 2 left. I train rough sometimes, and shit happens. So, therefore, I have chobos, and I didn't have to go out and buy any. Because these sticks are perfectly set, equal match. They're the same size no matter what. So when these parts broke off, I had chobos. I just had to retwine the grip. I don't think you guys can see that, but if you can look carefully, there's twine inside there. I think you guys can see it. But there's twine inside the damn thing. So that gives me grip. The gloves also give me grip. So when I'm doing shit like that, I can train. Now again, what I just done, training is fine. Real life, that shit's going to get you killed. Or it's going to get you impaled. And if you cut off your own hands in battle, it's really nobody's fault but yours. So this, not necessary. No. This, necessary. Block, strike, strike. Block, strike, strike. Block, 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 and strikes. No. So, if you do Kempo, everything I just said was correct. If you're just doing karate, it was incorrect. If you're doing Kung Fu, it was incorrect. But for Kempo, every block is a strike and every strike is a block. So, boom, 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 boom. And then if you want to add feet in, thrust into the gut without the blades. So, boom, boom, cut, cut. Or block, cut, kick, cut, cut, knee, cut, cut, knee, elbow, cut, cut. You want to be able to handle yourself no matter how these blades wind up. That being said, thank you Instagram for watching. Thank you Kung Fu Havoc number 2 for watching. I'm going to end this video now.